Welcome to Apocalypse, Mr. Manheim.
Who are you?
Your new lord and master. You may call me Darkseid.
Don't worry, dyslexic Bemmers. Your eyes do not deceive you. Every 10 episodes, we read a Batman comic. But this time, we're starting Halloween early with Man Bat. You're listening to Darkseid's Couch. I'm Mike.
Hey, this is James.
I'm Shée.
Yeah, we're just kind of mixing things up there. When you run out of ideas in the Bronze Age, when you get into the 70s, like, what are you going to do? You just start mixing the words up.
They're like in the meeting, right? Like, what about a Man Bat, huh?
And everybody knocked off early that day.
Yep.
They're like,
It's done.
let's celebrate with drinks, 'cause that's all they did back then.
Yeah, and they were already drinking when they decided to celebrate with drinks.
Yeah, because they had drinks at lunch.
Yeah, they put a
Imagine
second
that.
drink inside their first drink.
Don't forget your drink at your desk as you're working.
Yeah, you gotta have Irish handcuffs.
People just used to drink and smoke from
Yeah.
like morning till night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why George Costanza looked 60 when he was like 30.
Man, I can't imagine how much more I would have smoked if I could have smoked while working.
Oh
Like,
my
holy
goodness.
fuck.
Just disgusting. We got a whole generation of people just covered in smoke, smelling awful all the time. What are you
All the
doing?
time, still smoking. I'm glad that
bad.
people mostly vape now, though. That's more tolerant.
It's more tolerable, and it's arguably just as bad, if not worse, for the person doing
I don't
it,
care.
but-
It's not affecting
exactly,
me.
Exactly.
Do what you want.
I feel the same way, although I will say it still does bother me.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that everyone does it indoors now all
They
the
do
time.
it indoors. Every time you're standing around in a group with more than 3 guys, one of them's going to pull out a vape, and you just have to fucking tolerate it, and they suck on it like a bottle.
And it looks like something made for a child.
They should start making them shaped like little bottles with silicone
Little bottles,
nipples.
little pacifiers. Here's your pacifier, you fucking baby.
Baby. But seriously, don't go back to smoking.
No. Even though
gonna-
that looks really cool.
It does look super badass, but
Yeah.
stop doing it.
I was walking around my neighborhood and I saw a dude who looked a Chicago landlord as fuck. He was like a fat guy, like a little less than average height, and he was smoking a cigar that it looked like he smashed it.
Yeah, nice. I actually have so Shée does these diamond painting kits that I've never done before. They're like paint by numbers, but
Wait,
they're
hold
with
on. Let me
little-
back up here. Shay's
Yeah.
grandma did these kits,
Yes,
and then
this is
Shée
a
was
grandma
like,
thing.
yeah, whatever. And then Shée did them and was like, oh, this is great if you just want to zone the fuck out. Or if you want to get high and zone the fuck out.
Right, it's like
do.
paint by numbers, but you take a little pen and you grab these like little plastic reflective colored beads and you put them on the paint by number to make a picture. And normally it's a picture of like a house or a little kitty cat or something like that. But I found one. She actually showed it to me, and I saw it and said, "Oh shit, I'm gonna have to do this." And I have it here, and I'll put a picture of it on the video if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify. And it's a skeleton wearing headphones, smoking a cigarette, and he looks badass.
Yeah, he does look badass. What a
And
cool
so,
guy.
Yeah, so that's gonna go on the wall when it's finished.
That's right. He's listening to Sleep.
Yeah, he's listening to a 90-minute sleep song. Because he's dead. He's finally got some time to get around to finishing a sleep album.
He's like,
Nobody's
oh, cool.
ever gotten to the end of a sleep
What is
album
it? What is
before.
a dope smoker? That really just one long song.
You guys are making jokes I do not get.
That's
Sleep is
fine.
like this stoner rock group. The
Just
guy,
imagine
the guitar
what a-
player from Sleep, went on to make High on Fire. If you know who that band is.
Nope.
Just imagine what you think a band called Sleep would sound like. You're pretty damn close.
I keep thinking a Dream Theater.
No, not Dream Theater. Wow, Sleep and Dream Theater should tour together, shouldn't they?
That'd be a good show.
I don't
I'd
know.
go. Yeah, it's just it's sleepy, stony stuff. It's,
Little
you know,
real crunchy riffs.
it's either the best or worst of both worlds, depending on what you're into.
Yep.
All right, here it is. Here's the deal. Here's where we're at. We do a Batman comic every 10 episodes. And this came up on the wheel. I think maybe I put it on the list. I'm not sure. It might have been one that the wheel just put on itself. I don't know. Mike was complaining about hating Batman, starting to hate Batman. And lucky for him, Batman is not in this issue. So I guess that kind of works out. He does have a cameo. But this is Man Bat. Right?
Very different.
Do people know who Man Bat is?
I
Yeah,
thought
he
I
was
did
the-
up until they introduced him.
He was in the first episode of Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, that's
Right.
what I thought. I don't remember him ever being a hero.
Yeah.
He was never really a villain. He was a tragic figure, kind of like the Lizard. He really is basically a bat version of Spider-Man's Lizard.
Or the Hulk.
Or the Hulk, yeah. He is Kirk Langstrom. He's a scientist who was experimenting with bats, and he ended up turning himself into a man-bat.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently his wife?
Yeah, now that I don't know if that happened. Probably didn't happen in the previous issue. I don't know where that happened. I've never seen that before. But yeah, he inadvertently turned his wife into a she-bat, as we'll see during the flashback in this issue.
That's my favorite Shakira song.
Yeah, She-Bat Shakira is so attractive. Good God.
She's got the hips. Oh
Good
my goodness.
Lord.
Oh my goodness. South American women.
I think she went to jail for not paying her taxes.
Oh really?
I don't know, something like that. Something about not paying her taxes.
Rich people do not like paying taxes.
Dude, I'm not rich and I don't like paying taxes.
It's
I think it was something about Spain and how, like, she technically lived there but wasn't paying the taxes to there. Or maybe it
Fuck
wasn't
you,
that she
Spain.
technically... But
no. Spain is a lovely place and it's very cheap to live.
The tax that was that her presence in your country.
No. We should
That
all
was
go
the
to
great
Spain.
reward.
Go to Spain, pay your taxes, live there. It's beautiful. It's lovely. You can get a cottage. You can get a villa for pennies on the dollar.
Dude, there's a Japanese mansion for sale that's like $100,000.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
fuck, dude. Do I want to live in Japan?
There are little pockets. I mean, you're not going to be in Tokyo, but,
I don't give a
you'll
fuck.
be
Why do I want to
somewhere.
live there? I want to live where the cherry blossoms
If-
are and all that stuff.
If you want a $100,000 mansion, like, you could already get that. It just won't be anywhere near society.
Yeah,
Society.
Society.
Society. I don't know if I need to hit the button for that. 'cause
Yes,
it's different,
absolutely.
It's different context.
If you have to ask if you need to press the button, the answer
Well,
is yes.
It was a different context. Than
Doesn't
it
matter. I
usually
don't
is.
care. I don't give a shit about context. This is Dark Side's couch.
Yeah. I'll get some Batman in this video. I'll get a little bit of I'll sneak some more Batman in this video. I promise you, because I want to justify that hashtag. Because we always get the Batman bump.
Nope. We need to justify shit. We should hashtag Scarlett Johansson on all of our videos.
Yes, like all the fake AI pages do. Yeah, I
let's
don't know
do
why
it.
that's the one.
I don't know, but let's do it. Let's start
She's also
hashtagging.
kinda-
We just mentioned her, so we can.
I would think it'd be Sydney Sweeney because Scarlett Johansson's kind of past her prime. In most
Let's
people's
get
eyes.
No, she is not.
In the general public eyes, she is past that point where she's like,
Absolutely
I am not saying she's not a very attractive woman. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm saying, like, in the public eye, she is no longer hired as, like, the hot lady.
You
She's-
are out of your fucking mind.
I didn't say anything. I said that's how she. Look at her filmography. Nobody's hiring her for those roles anymore.
Dude.
Now they're hiring Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney is that lady.
That's like an it girl, though. So it's just they have it
Yeah.
guys, too. Like, we're going to get
Yeah, they
tired
do.
of Christopher Helmsworth sooner or later.
I think we're already tired of Chris Hemsworth. I think we've moved on from the Pratt-assance. I think Chris Pratt is basically waning.
Chris Pratt's still making fucking movies, dude.
He's
got like
still
20
making
more movies
movies.
coming out.
Yeah, but they're sequels to the movies back when he was more popular.
I
They're
wonder
not
if
like
Willem
new
Dafoe is the most
I
popular
don't know.
actor of all
Garfield
time.
was starting a brand new franchise.
Yeah, but that movie started production like
Stay out of Springfield.
Mario was starting a brand new franchise.
Stay out of Spring. I actually just saw a couple hours ago as we were recording this. JD Vance just basically admitted that he made that story up. Like he said, if I have to make up stories to bring attention to people suffering, I'll do it. So he just pretty much copped to the fact that he made that whole thing up.
I looked into it, and the only thing that I found was like decapitating geese at the park.
Yeah, there's nothing, and maybe that's
Or,
that's probably not
in,
even true.
or in New York City, barbecuing like guinea pigs.
Good Lord, New York City. Well, this was in Springfield, and apparently now they're getting bomb threats in Springfield because they mentioned this whole fucking cat eating thing, and so now like the mayor of
wow.
Springfield is begging people, "Will you please stop lying about our town for political points? Register to vote."
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Especially if you're in a swing. Oh, they're pulling some weird shit. By the way, serious PSA here because we're getting close to that time. If you are going to vote, and it's your call, whatever, whatever, it's your personal thing. But if you are planning to vote, go check that you're registered, especially if you're in a swing state or a southern state, because they're fucking with that stuff.
Yeah, they
They're-
are.
So go. You might have to go re-register. Go check on that.
James, are you saying that elections aren't necessarily real?
I'm saying, well, no, I'm saying they're real. I'm saying the political parties are full of shit. If elections weren't real, they wouldn't be spending billions of dollars competing over votes.
Allegedly.
Yes, the unaccounted billions of dollars.
I don't know. This is
Putting
what they
on-
say. This is what they say in the news, though. I don't know if people are actually spending billions of dollars. How
putting
do I
on
know?
Fake fundraisers and
Yeah.
everything. Sure.
Yeah.
That
Well,
I've
they're-
been at. I've been hired to be at those fundraisers.
Yeah, but what if they just
Turns
keep
out
the
whole
money?
thing was
What if
fake.
they just keep it?
It would be a pretty enormous scandal when some whistleblower figures that out.
It's you and me right now, buddy.
Yep, we're blowing away. I've got some evidence. I've got some conjecture. I've got concepts of a plan to blow the whistle on this thing.
So this comic was good timing because we're starting a Halloween early.
You know what? Yeah, and we've got some Halloween stuff coming up, so
We
stick
got
around
a
to the end of the
fucking
episode.
bunch of Halloween stuff coming up. It's
we got
crazy.
a whole thing for Spooktober. Some people call it that. I don't. I find it disrespectful.
We got fucking Halloween stuff and birthdays.
yeah, birthdays out the asshole into the toilet. That's how many birthdays we got. We have so many that they're falling out of our buttholes.
We don't have a Septembersaurus, though.
You know,
Nah,
Septembersaurus.
come on.
I'd love
Come
to do
on.
Septembersaurus, but it's
Fine,
hard
let's do that instead. We'll just do
Well,
no. We're not doing this book anymore. We're just doing dinosaurs.
Let's look at dinosaur pictures.
I guess the argument could be dinosaurs are truly the scariest of monsters.
There we go.
There we are. I will say this is actually kind of appropriate also because this is the same week, and speaking of like obscure Batman villains getting the spotlight, not only do we have the Joker movie coming out in a couple weeks, but this is the week that the Matt Reeves Penguin series begins on Max on HBO. So it's it's a golden age for Batman villain spin-offs, I guess. I wouldn't give one to Man-Bat necessarily, but
Yeah, give him one.
well,
And have him be played by Colin Farrell too.
yes.
I was about to say, who would you cast as Man-Bat in the Robert Pattinson Batman universe?
I'd
Colin
say
Farrell.
all of the villains should be Colin Farrell, and they should interact with each other. But when they're interacting with each other, it should be that really cheap split screen where it doesn't line up. Yeah, that's how it should be. All of them, especially because I read an interview where Colin Farrell was like, "Yeah, I fucking hated that penguin makeup. I don't know that I want to ever do this again."
Then they offered him a lot of money, and he's like, "Cool,
Well, I mean, it's the kind of thing where like you get a couple months away from it, you're like, "All right, I guess I'll do it again."
I guess out there, it's not that
That's
bad."
fine. I don't know. I was thinking about it, like, who would you give like a solo series 2 of like the Batman villains? And I guess I would go Ra's al Ghul because he's got a whole probably
Yeah, his
background.
his whole life,
His whole back. Yeah, and he's globe-trotting. There's all kinds of people you could put in there.
and he's super based.
He's not even one of my favorite villains, but he is based as shit.
If I'm Batman, right, and Ra's
Yeah.
al Ghul came up to me and goes, "Hey, so this is a terrorist organization of assassins, but we're here to make utopia on Earth. And by the way, my daughter is the hottest woman in the world.
Oh,
and if
my
you marry
goodness,
her,
Talia.
you, Batman, will be in charge of this organization. You can do whatever you want with it." The answer is yes.
It's
of
weird
course.
that he never really considered it.
It's
Kinda
just like
from day one.
I mean, like, yeah, they're a group of assassins now, but he's the heir, so he can change it, and he'll have lifetimes to do it.
Yeah, he would have been the Ubu.
Bro, shut the that's so dumb. That should have been the end of Batman right there. He's like, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know, man. I
And
think he
Robin's
didn't
like,
want the
but
pressure.
Batman goes, shut up, Robin, shut
Yeah,
up.
That's why he smacks him in that one famous panel. That's what he was smacking him.
He's like,
about.
this is what I want, right? Like, won't this solve all that stuff?
Actually, I was doing a little Man-Bat research, and according to Wiki, so it was in that weird spot between the 90s Batman films when they collapsed and they weren't getting made. And after that and before they made the Nolan ones, there were a lot of different maybe scripts going around. And one of them, I don't think I read the script because I don't think the script ever leaked, but it was Lee Shapiro's. It was called Batman Dark Knight. And I want to be very careful about the way this is spelled. This is how it's spelled. It's spelled capital D, A, one word, Dark Knight. Capital D, A, R, capital K, N-I-G-H-T.
Okay.
So they smash them together and they capitalize the K, which I don't know how that relates to our Nighthawk, Darkhaw, Nighthaw,
It does.
but it somehow does. I don't know how it does. But in that movie, Man-Bat would have been in that script, and I guess the two actors that they were potentially looking at to play Man-Bat were Martin Short, and
That's pretty good.
it is okay. I can't really
No,
see it,
that's
but I
good.
love
Martin Short obviously should be the Mad Hatter, but
Oh, that would
in
you know what?
terms
That's
of
a
just
really good one.
he would have been a good Riddler. He would have been a lot of great Batman characters.
Yeah, any of the spindly ones.
Yeah.
The other option was
Scarecrow.
Yeah. The other option was Mark Lynn Baker. I'm guessing you don't recognize that name, but he was cousin Larry Appleton on TV's Perfect Strangers.
Oh.
He was the other option to maybe be Man-Bat in a world that unfortunately never.
Wait,
came to
Larry
pass.
was the American cousin, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
cousin
frizzy-haired
Larry.
dude. Cousin Larry Appleton.
Oh, man.
If you're 900 years old like we are.
That theme song, though, was so good.
Dude, that was a. Oh, yeah. It was.
Can we play a little of it? Can we do that?
Wings of a...
Let's like hear just a touch of it, and so people know what we're talking about.
We can put it in there.
It should have been Jeffrey Combs.
Oh, Jeffrey Combs would have been. Well, he voiced a lot of those characters in the cartoons.
Come on.
But
kick
he
it
looks
off.
perfect for it.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh my goodness. This should be the theme for the new Batman movie.
Yeah, right. We're him and Robin.
Oh my goodness. Let's get to that. Oh my god, they were so empowering, the anthems in the 80s. Let's get to the chorus.
Oh, this was a Chicago show too.
Was it Chicago?
Yeah, I think they drive to Chicago.
Here it comes. Shut your fucking mouths. Oh my goodness. Standing tall in the winds of my dreams. All right. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, that's Batman 2, starring Bronson Pinchot as Batman, and the Perfect Strangers theme song.
Oh, did that guy come back? Robert Pattinson? Is he doing it again?
Yeah. It's a trilogy in theory, assuming that the second one doesn't do horrifically, but they will. He might even. They have a whole series of potential spin-off TV shows and things, so we'll see.
What was that? You guys liked it and I hated it, right?
Well, it depends
I mean, that's
on
a
the,
lot of things.
Yeah, it depends on the
And
temperature
vice
with you,
versa.
all kinds of things.
Oh yeah, I like all the Marvel stuff, and you guys.
What
think it's
direction is the
dumb.
wind blowing? It changes Mike's mood, and
I just saw Guardians of the
of them.
Galaxy 3. It was so good.
it's been a long time. All right. Well, what we are looking at here, which we haven't said yet, this is Man-Bat, issue number 2, the year 1976. It's a book called Fugitive from Blind Justice, written by Martin Pasco, art by Pablo Marcos and Ricardo Villamonte. This was the second and final issue of the Man-Bat series.
Get the fuck out of here, really? It ends on a kind of a cliffhanger.
Yeah, so they did, well, before this, in 1975, they started the Joker series, which ran for 10 issues. And then this, which ran for 2 issues. And then after that, they tried a third Batman spin-off comic for Cobra, the character Cobra, which ran for 7 issues. So they got 3 villain spin-offs with less than 20 issues
How
between
the fuck did Cobra get more
get
issues than Man-Bat?
Who the fuck is Cobra?
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's about him and his brother. It's
You mean
the
like
7
Copperhead?
issues.
Do you mean that one? That's a Batman guy, right?
It's yeah. You know what? Honestly, Cobra is not a well-documented character, and honestly, it's even Man-Bat was a new character. So these, they were just. I give them credit for trying to take obscure characters and build them up, but yeah, nobody cares.
Yeah, right.
about
We gotta do more
Cobra.
dumbass superhero books. Like, I guess, yeah, good for them for trying.
They tried, and it didn't work. So never tried again.
Ah,
that's all.
this wasn't a bad book.
No, it actually wasn't. It was not a bad book. It's weird. The
Yeah, it's
cover
weird,
of it,
but I like that. I like weird.
Yeah, the cover of it is strange because we're going to meet a villain called the 10-Eyed Man who has 10 eyes on his fingertips. Mm-hmm. And in theory, that's him on the cover of this book, or at least his hands. But it's very different because we're seeing his entire hand as a mirror with Man-Bat flying towards it.
I guess it was too hard to draw the reflection of Man-Bat's face in all his fingertips.
Okay, well then you know what you do? Not that. You do something else.
And look how like the positions of his hands are.
I
Like,
was
one
going to
hand,
note that too.
yeah, like his thumb. If the reflection hand is
Yeah.
his right hand, his thumb is on the wrong side.
Oh, yeah, no, it's his left hand.
But
and
why would
that's
his left
palm,
hand
which is why
be
really-
below his right hand that has a gun?
and way in front of it? Yeah,
And
it
both
doesn't
are
work.
extended out fully, because if you have
Yeah.
a handgun,
Yeah,
you have
you're
to
right.
extend it out the
yeah,
whole way.
Yeah.
It's a very awkward shot. They probably should have just taken another pass at this thing.
It looks like two guys. It looks like someone is trying to
100%.
prevent a shooter from shooting Man-Bat by sticking his hand in front of the gun.
Yeah, but we'll never know who that man was. All right, let's get into this. Let's fuck this book up.
No.
So we open up and we get right into the action. Right on the first opening splash page, we have Man-Bat soaring through the skies, thinking about things, and he's about to be attacked by the 10-armed man. So right out of the gate, we get to learn a bit about that. And we find out that Man-Bat has moved to our beloved city of Chicago. Woo! Chicago!
Maybe Man-Bat and the Ten-Eyed Man should be the perfect strangers.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, I guess Marklin Baker is going to be Man-Bat because you almost got the job as it was.
Uh-huh.
So that means Bronson Pinchot is the Ten-Eyed Man.
He's going to be the Ten-Eyed Man. I guess you
No,
could reverse
That's
roles,
fair
too.
casting.
Yeah, it looks good.
I don't know. I think I want Balky to be the Ten-Eyed Man.
That's Bronson Pinchot.
Oh, that's
what
Bronson Pinchot. Okay. Yeah. Perfect then. Perfect strangers.
So the Ten-Eyed Man, of which I'm a fan. You might say I'm a four-eyed fan of the Ten-Eyed Man.
Oh.
I stan the Ten-Eyed.
Boo.
I stan the
I
Ten-Eyed
like
Man.
that was a good joke.
Yeah, that was my intro if I ended up doing the intro. So the Ten-Eyed Man, he wears an orange jumpsuit with a bunch of eyes down the center of his chest. And he's got a shock of white hair, very Jason Blood in his otherwise brown hair. He's got goggles on because his actual eyes are useless. And as we'll find out, he has tiny little eyes on all of his fingertips.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's pretty much the Ten-Eyed Man. Not a popular character, wasn't used a lot.
Because he's
but,
dumb?
He's a little, you know what I'll say? The Ten-Eyed Man it's a useful superpower. Like, it's not,
Yes.
well, think about
Except
like,
you can't hold shit.
Yeah, you'd be
Well-
better off being like a government spy.
oh yeah, let's see you lose something under the couch. This is the guy you want.
I mean,
You want to look, something rolls under the fridge, the Ten-Eyed Man is going to find it.
what I don't understand, like, so he has his eyes on his fingertips. How the hell is he getting so jacked without being able to pick up weights?
He
Yeah.
he can still use
Not
his
the-
hands. It's just he has to focus differently.
He'd just be smashing his eyes the whole time.
I would think his I don't understand how this man's brain works, that he's able to synthesize all of that data, all that visual data down into something that he can work with. It's
Why
crazy.
would he wear an eyeball-based costume?
He is pretty eyeball based, isn't
Like, why would you even hint at how
Yeah, you
your
wouldn't want
powers
people to
work?
know.
You'd want no one to know that you can see from your fingertips. He's like, oh, I got 10 eyes on my fingertips,
And-
man.
he? And despite that, Man-Bat, it takes him a while to figure this
That's
out.
exactly what I was going to say, is
Yeah.
that, well, apparently that doesn't matter.
Here's what other thing I'll say about Ten-Eyed Man. And Shea, you're going to want to cover your ears for this. You're not going to like it. But I got to say, the Ten-Eyed Man,
Oh, no. You're right. Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
his butthole must be immaculate.
Oh, yeah,
Like-
because he's wiping and he can see.
Cleans house.
I bet. Yeah, but you're always getting shit in your eye. His fingers must have pink eye all the time.
That's gross.
Gross.
He's got
All right.
weepy fingers. He's like, I got
Ah,
What are you doing, Ten-Eyed Man? I'm
When he
wiping my
washes
ass.
When he washes his hands, does it feel like he gets soap in his
Oh,
eyes?
it must burn all the
yeah,
time. This
dude,
guy's
all the
life is hell.
time.
Does he wash his
Dude.
hands with baby shampoo?
Dude, that sucks.
Oh, Johnson & Johnson, no more tears.
Does he cry from his fingers?
Dude.
Yes, he must.
What happens when he masturbates?
Well,
Why
doesn't
is he so jacked?
I don't think he has tear ducts in his hands. I think he just has the optic nerves.
Why is he so jacked? How does that help him do anything?
I mean, he's still got to fight sometimes.
I mean,
you
is he
know?
just like really stressed out and this is, and
Yeah.
it's cheaper than therapy?
That's how he
Also,
works
at
with
one
it.
point we get introduced to him and they kept his hands in a box. Why don't they just have him wear gloves?
Yes.
Yeah, just gloves would
yes.
be normal. I
Yeah,
guess because
yeah.
you could take off the gloves with the other hand.
Make up
Yeah,
magic
well,
gloves.
yeah.
It's a fucking comic
Well,
book.
an
They have
oven mitt,
magic
yeah.
gloves.
He's oven mitt man. All right, we'll
Duct
get into all
tape
that.
them.
So like throughout this book, Man-Bat's bat face changes in every
yeah.
single panel. It's never the
Sure.
same bat face. Sometimes it looks pretty horrific. Sometimes it gives a kind of a human quality to it.
That's kind of a real bat, though. Bats sometimes look horrific and sometimes they're adorable.
Yeah, but so it's always changing. But whatever.
So I guess at this point, Man-Bat has moved to Chicago. We're back to Chicago. I think he maybe is from Chicago.
Yeah, it
And,
seems like that.
Yeah, he's hanging around. He wanted to get out of the craziness of Gotham.
He's like, finally back where I can get a decent hot dog.
Yeah. Woo! Chicago!
Because when you want to escape crime, the first place I think
Yeah.
of is our dear, dear home
In-
of Chicago.
In the 70s, yes. 70s
In the
Chicago.
70s.
Well, compared to fucking Gotham.
dude. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. 70s Chicago was Gotham.
That's, yeah, exactly. Like, nah.
Oh, dude.
Well, as we can see, it didn't work. Like the first night out, he's getting assaulted by fucking butthole eyeball man. Poopy,
Yeah,
poopy,
right.
Poopy eye man.
Imagine it's his first day there, and he's flying around. And is he flying around as Man-Bat just recreationally at this point?
Yeah, I think so. He just turns it on and off when he wants to.
And like he is still the size of a man. Like how is the 10-eyed man even able to find him? And also he's flying over Lake Michigan.
Right.
So like, how'd this guy fucking find his ass?
He's got a jetpack. Well,
Is Kirk Langstrom the Mothman? Did we just bust Mothman?
Oh yeah, right.
Oh,
So
the
yeah,
famous
there's
Chicago Mothman. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could be him.
they just spotted him at O'Hare like a few months ago.
Is he still around?
Yeah.
He must be
Yeah.
90 years old.
And the Mothman? Well, the Mothman doesn't exist. I don't know. You
AJ,
gotta know,
nothing but a number.
you gotta know what a Mothman is to know. Like, I don't think he has to worry about getting older.
Yeah.
You don't know shit about moths.
You don't, James. You don't know anything about Mothman. Mothman isn't actually a moth.
I've been wondering about all my sweaters with all these fucking holes and what's going on. Turns out it's the Mothman. I don't understand. All right, so the 10-eyed man just completely drop kicks Man-Bat out of thin air. And what I notice is he's got multiple weapons that come out of his crotch.
Mm-hmm. He shoots webs out of his
He's-
crotch.
he's
He's got
got
a WWF belt, and it has an
Yes.
eyeball on it, and it shoots webs at people.
It's very explicitly WWF. This is not WWE. This is old school.
No, this is an old one. Yeah, this is an NWA belt.
So he shoots a net and he captures Man-Bat. He starts trying to strangle him like a kid who found a plastic bag and puts it over his head.
And all this
And,
time, they're plummeting. They're just plummeting.
Which realistically, you got what, like 15 seconds maybe? Like, I don't know. They're making the best of this time. Man-Bat fights back. He's able to kick off the 10-eyed man. He has no idea what's going on. He doesn't know who this guy is, by the way.
You know, if he leaves Gotham, right, to avoid the
Yeah.
craziness and moves back home, you'd think to avoid trouble like this, he would just not transform into Man-Bat anymore.
He wants to be free, dude.
I guess.
Yeah,
Because he's trying to
that's-
cure his wife of Man-Batism.
Yeah, there is going to be a flashback, a baffling flashback about his life. So they engage in a fight here in fisticuffs. They have a brouhaha, a real melee. And the 10-eyed man is surprised that Kirk Langstrom is stronger. And he mentions a boss. He mentions his boss didn't warn him about how strong Man-Bat was, right? Mm-hmm. He's also surprised that Man-Bat can talk. So apparently his boss didn't really tell him anything about this guy.
Nope.
Except where to find him.
we learn later what he thinks Man-Bat is. And it's like, oh,
Yes.
this guy's an idiot.
Yeah. I'm going to love that guy when we get to him. So
Look how shredded fucking Man-Bat is. I need some. I just want a little watered down formula.
Right. You just want to, so you get like the pointy ears and maybe web
And
fingers,
maybe-
but you're not a full-on bat.
Nah. Maybe a little webbing between the old fingers. I can
Yeah,
deal with that if I'm that yoked.
Yeah. You can at least wear a glove. Who cares? You
Who
know?
cares? Look
Let's
how
cover
yoked
it
I
up.
am. I bet
Yeah.
jacking off would feel better because I'll have more coverage.
Well, you might rip the skin more.
'Cause that's true. I have to lube up the webbing.
Yeah.
The
You're gonna need
skin webs.
special bat webbing lube. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The fight continues. There's a flap. This is still all midair, but Man-Bat eventually gets free and he starts plunging into Lake Michigan. Woo! Lake
It's-
Michigan!
And it is so
Yeah.
cold that he immediately regrets his decision.
Yes.
He takes the polar plunge.
I'll see motherfuckers going out there any time of year, and I'm like, that is some cold ass motherfucking water. You
It's
guys are
pretty bad.
crazy.
It's pretty fucking bad. I've actually never swum in Lake Michigan. Swam,
Dude, it
swam in
is like, it's like 80 degrees today. If you went out to Lake Michigan, that water would be freezing cold.
And it's the end of summer, so if there was a chance for it to be warm, it would be now, and it's still fucking
It's
nice.
cold.
Yeah. So Kirk Langstrom plunges into the drink, plunges into Lake Michigan, and he pulls out one of his serums that he uses to transform between Kirk Langstrom and Man-Bat. He turns into Man-Bat so he can swim away, because I guess Man-Bat can't swim, but he can.
Well, how would he swim? He's got the big
Yeah.
old skin
I would think
wing
that would
flaps.
Possibly help. Like
That's
I
a
don't know.
practice talent. I doubt very much that he had the time to get good at it.
Yeah.
Or
So
he
he
could just turn
swims.
into a normal dude and swim back.
He does swim back, and it looks like he swims about a good solid mile. Like, that is an impressive thing. After a midair fight,
I mean, he look how
Jesus.
yoked he is, though.
for a scientist, yeah, he is.
He's a pretty badass dude.
Shouldn't be looking this way for like a
If
scientist.
DC Comics has established anything, it's that if you're a scientist, you're fucking ripped.
Yeah, everyone's ripped in
Even
DC
Hugo
Comics.
Strange, like this
just-
old man who's a psychologist, and yeah, when you see him sometimes, yeah, he's got fucking
Ted
pecs
Hookhart
for
had a
days.
heart condition, at least.
Yeah, he got a little pudge on him. So Kirk Langstrom, he manages to swim back to shore, but he realizes he doesn't have his serum anymore. He lost his serums in Lake Michigan, so he doesn't
There's
have any
going to be
clothes
some
except for
weird ass
pants.
batfish soon.
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be a bunch
They
of
turned to
fish.
freaking fish bats.
Well, luckily we were already having that in Lake Michigan, so it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just normal. And he flags down a cabbie, and the cabbie's like, "Hey man, you can't be getting in here. You're wet." And Kirk Langstrom convinces him to drive him by giving him $20.
$20. Another. Oh wow! Just like in Zip Comics,
It was
$20.
last episode. If that sounds familiar, the cabbie in the last episode we did, Zip Comics, the exact same thing happened. They gave him $20, and he was over the moon.
Yeah,
Because
still.
did we look it up and it was like hundreds?
So let's look up. So this came out in like what,
right.
1976? Let's look up what $20 was. in
I already did
1975.
this.
Oh.
So in Zip Comics, that $20 that Captain Valor gave to the cabbie was worth $414.
Good
Life-changing
Lord.
amount of money for that guy. 35 years later, it's $107.
Wow.
So this
Our
cabbie,
economy is just collapsing.
well, this cabbie gets the equivalent of $107 and says, and he's shocked, and he says, "Not only will I drive you where you need to go, I will volunteer my jacket as a bath towel for you." It's not that much money.
He's like, "Hey man, I'll give you $20 if I can lick you clean."
Yeah.
That would be today. That would be if that interaction existed today.
Well, that's because that's what millennials do.
But if this interaction happened today, Kurt would be upset that he got his phone wet.
I mean, I would be upset that. Well, you got to check your IP rating. Like, you should be able to handle a few meters of submersion in there. We got IPX8. You should have IPX8 if you're going to be jumping into the lake with your phone. Idiots. So then on the cab ride back, Kirk Langstrom's thinking about his past, and this is where we get a bit of a flashback. And it is bizarre. So I guess at some point, his wife Francine, he inadvertently turned her into a she-bat.
Does
Right?
not
Oops.
explain how.
Yeah.
And also, like, if he has a
Fucking-
belt with serum that turns him back into Kurt Langstrom, why doesn't he just give her some of that?
I guess it doesn't work on her. It doesn't work on estrogen. It's a testosterone only.
Oh, I see.
hormone serum. Yeah, I don't know. Well, it is worth noting, like, this is one of those situations similar to Mr. Freeze where he figured out how to do one thing and then couldn't undo it. Couldn't figure out how to undo it. So,
But he undoes it for himself.
yes. Well, temporarily. Temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I took it the other way, that he has the serum that turns him into Man-Bot, not the other way around.
No, he has to take a serum to turn into Man-Bat, and he takes a serum to turn back into Kurt Langstrom.
Gotcha.
I don't know if it's the same serum. You'd think they were, but maybe they're two separate serums. I don't
Two
know.
different colors on the belt.
Yep. Unfortunately, Man-Bat is colorblind, so he doesn't know which he's getting. So they met a man named Baron Time, Tyme, and Baron Time was able to manipulate Francine. And
No,
used-
I live in the timeline where it was Barentine.
Barentine? Is that something?
The Mandela effect of Berenstein.
Oh,
and
Berenstein
Berenstain.
Bears.
Oh,
Yeah, Barentine Bears.
That was a good damn joke.
Yeah. Well, it's under construction.
Had to explain it, though.
I mean, I think David Letterman once said, if you have to explain a joke, it wasn't a finished joke. But
Unless the explanation is the actual punchline.
and sometimes it was with David Letterman. Man, what a genius! All right, I'll give you 3/4 credit on that, Shea. So yeah, Baron Team used Francine to destroy his enemies, and presumably Kirk Langstrom managed to get her back, but she was still afflicted with she-batitis, I guess. So Kirk said, I'm going to leave Gotham, going to go back to Chicago because Landau Hospital has the medical expertise to maybe help her. I don't think that's a real hospital in Chicago. Maybe it was in the 70s.
I don't understand. He's the guy who
I took
created
Landau
this.
as in like Martin Landau or something, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Martin Landau built the hospital.
Yep.
Yep, by hand with no tools.
Just his own poop and saliva.
Well, we've seen that he can't, Mike, to your point, we've seen that he can't seem to figure out how to change her back. Like,
Yeah, but he invented... there's a lot of things you could do with that science. The fact he turned himself into a Man-Bat and then back into a human again. I'd just go
Yeah.
to the government and be like, hey, like, you can reverse engineer this. You just got to help my wife. They're like, why don't
Yeah.
you help her? Don't you have a serum? He goes, yeah, I do.
Yeah, I'm 50% of a great
I
scientist.
just don't wanna.
It's like, yeah, but it's for me, for turning back into Kurt,
Yeah.
And then
This is
just
a
make
Kirk
more
serum.
serum. Listen, dude. He's getting all frustrated. Like, listen.
I'm offering you gold here. Why are you questioning me?
This is what we're doing.
Get off my fucking nuts about this. I'm offering you gold.
Or, Batman can go, you go Wayne Enterprises. I'm sure they have a pharmaceutical department that he's, having lobbyists tell the government that he can have.
Yeah. All right.
Bruce Wayne's the reason why we don't have universal health care.
A little bit. Yeah. So he goes back to his apartment.
Just the most John Cena jacked he could possibly be.
He looks great. He's going back. Keep in mind, he still doesn't have a shirt on.
Kirk Langstrom is played by John Cena.
And apparently his apartment, yes, sure. And apparently his apartment is Chicago North Shore. I know that place. Yeah, Chicago.
He complains about how small and shitty his Chicago apartment is. But
I read that too.
Dude,
Fuck you.
So he puts on a cloak.
He has Doctor Strange's cloak. Yes.
He has a cloak, and the lights get turned on. And it turns out that his friends and family are throwing him a surprise party in his gigantic apartment.
It is massive.
Dude, look at it.
He can't. The people in the back of the crowd are just silhouettes because they're so far away from him.
Dude, look at the size of his picture window in his apartment. Look at that.
Oh, the floor to ceilings. Yeah, this is a great place. This is a great spot.
And he has a balcony.
He's it's so small and cramped.
I could barely fit in here. A man can't stretch out. Well, once you move all his gym equipment in there, it really is pretty small.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
There's people out there doing that. They have all this gym equipment and they move to different apartments with it. It's good Lord.
Well, yeah, I have gym. I mean, I don't have a full on.
That's what I mean. They got weights and a bench and all that shit, and they just take it with them wherever they go. It's you're
and a bench.
Your moving costs must be insane.
I mean, the big Nordic track, I can move a bench and some weights, but
yeah, it's just still, it's fuck. What are you doing?
I mean, that's your stuff,
That's why I'm why own a lot of things if you're just gonna have to move every 2 years?
Well, most people don't move every 2 years, and also you can hire movers for almost nothing, and they'll do it for you.
That's not
no,
true.
not almost nothing.
Dude,
that is a lot of money.
Yeah, dude, that's a lot of money. It's like $900.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not that expensive.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
All right. Well, I guess this subjective topic has been decided on.
That's not subjective. That's how much movers cost in the city.
Yeah, but whether or not it's a lot it doesn't cost $900.
Yeah, it does.
It does not. I've paid for movers. It can. Sure, anything can. All right. Well, at any rate, his delightfully furnished, massive, sprawling apartment. Yeah, he comes home. They've put up a banner that says "Welcome Home, Kirk." And it seems to be that the party isn't for anything. They've noticed he's been feeling down lately. So friends and family from the country, all over the country, have come together to throw him a party just because they love him.
Yeah, what? Ridiculous. First and foremost,
This is an insane premise.
But also, how'd they get in his apartment? Isn't this his secret lair that he's hiding out in?
Doesn't his little sister? Isn't she there?
His sister mentions that Francine helped them plan this, so presumably she let them in before things went really sour, as we'll see in a second here.
Okay.
So Kirk opens up his apartment and he's noticeably all surprised in his cloak. And it's a costume party as well, because there are people dressed as devils and clowns. It's weird.
Or maybe they just hired a clown.
Well, because there's also somebody dressed as a Satan. So I don't know.
So this is a Halloween party.
Yeah, sure. You know what? Because 'tis the season, it's a Halloween party.
'Tis the season, all right? We're so close to Halloween, guys. We're so here.
Oh, it's going to be so great. Mm-hmm. And then we meet Kirk's younger sister, who is a babe, is dressed just ridiculously with cleavage for days. And her husband, or maybe fiance, who is clearly much, much older than her.
I mean, no, we don't know, but
dude,
a mustache will just make you look old.
Well, he also might be wearing a costume.
Oh, that's
true.
Look at the size of his neck, though.
His costume is a 52-year-old man with a thick neck.
Look how I can see. I mean, he's got money. He's wearing a tuxedo, so he's got money. And look how thick he is. I can imagine a young woman wanting a piece of that. What if he's divorced?
I'm not saying it couldn't happen. I'm
got
saying
himself a new wife.
Yeah, a fucking babe. Look at this lady. Jesus.
Trade it up. That's what he would say when he's joking with his buddies. Yep, trading up.
Trade it up. And she feels kind of material. She feels kind of fetishized about it.
Yeah, he's got money.
Yeah, and he's kind of handsome. His dick doesn't work, but
yeah, it does. That man. Look at the size of that man's neck. His dick works.
Got that Henry Rollins neck for sure, man.
Bro.
So they tell him, you've been down lately, so we organized this party. And Kirk says, well, where's Francine? And Kirk's sister says, well, she helped us plan this, but then she wasn't feeling well, so she pieced out, and now I'm angry with her about it. Like, she gets really kind of shitty about this.
Yeah.
And Kirk tells her to go fuck herself.
Yeah, you fucking idiot. What's your problem? Well, her husband tells her, what's your problem? Why did you insult his wife the second after the party starts? How's this
He's
going
like,
to work
this
out?
engagement is over.
This guy has high standards. I know you're a babe half my age, but
I can always get other babes half my age.
he loves that he gets older and they stay the same age, right? All right, yeah. So he
That
goes
was a line about pedophilia in a comedy.
Yes.
They could have been 18. He could have been carding them and making sure they were always 18.
He
Were
was
people 18
not.
in high school back then?
Were what? Was 18?
Were people 18 in high
Yeah,
school back then?
for like 6 months in your senior year. Yeah, not for a significant amount of time. It wouldn't have a particularly deep bench of options if he was keeping it legal.
I guess. Gross.
You know, it was 80s scumbag behavior, hanging out with those 16-year-old girls. Anyway, so Kirk goes into the bedroom and sees that Francine is freaking out. She's turning into the she-bat again, right?
Or
So-
she's just a bitch and she's just screeching all the time.
She just didn't want to be at this party.
He's like this. Maybe he just thinks she's turning into a bat. He goes, "Why isn't my serum working?" But really, she's just a fucking crazy bitch.
Yeah, I forgot I married a harpy.
I'm like, god damn it!
No. She's a lovely lady.
It's got to be from the serum. Maybe he turned her into a bat, like it's a sexually transmitted disease.
Yeah. Well,
She
he's-
caught man bat.
Yeah, this is not a relationship worth salvaging.
Do you have any man bat sores?
Or why can't she just why don't two of them just be bats altogether? Like
Yeah,
just all
just
the
be
time.
bats all the time.
Just two bats, make little bat children. Like what's
No
the
more
problem?
taxes.
No more. You're not gonna tax a bat.
I think that was a comic, a man bat comic with Batman. Is that Kirk and his wife turned into bats, went to a
Nice.
cave somewhere, and had kids?
Nice.
Pretty sure.
It's the way to go. It's the way to go. Yeah, there was at the end of Grant Morrison's Batman arc, Talia did force all of the League of Assassins soldiers to inject themselves with Man-Bat serum. So it was a whole army of Man-Bat serum soldiers. So,
Oh, great.
yeah, it was a good thing to do.
So
So,
Batman sucks.
no, Batman is fucking awesome. Batman is the shit, as we've seen over 27 times at this point.
I only like him when he's like having koala adventures.
I mean, there's a time and a place for that, for sure. But, I really like the Bronze Age. We don't look at the Bronze Age enough. So, Kirk decides to knock her out somehow. And then he binds her with restraints that were already attached to the bed. Weird.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what they do.
It's still a little weird. It's okay.
Dude,
it's cool,
they turn into Draculas.
Yeah, I guess that's the most tame thing about them is
They're like,
their
so he's
weird
tying her up a
bondage
little
sex.
bit.
Yeah, he only kind of ties her at the waist. Like that's the trouble point.
Well, he wants to have a HJ.
And her pillows converge into one giant mega pillow by the end of the scene. Look at that.
It's the Mega Pillow,
Delicious looking pillow.
which is the next Batman spin-off book.
Pillow Man?
Just the Mega Pillow, and it's
Mega
just
Pillow.
just silent frames of just that pillow sitting on the bed.
I figure that's Wayne Industries R&D on the most comfortable pillow in the world.
Now, if it was linked to one of the Marvel crossovers in the 90s, people would buy that book.
Sure, yeah. In the 90s, Marvel would give a book to anybody. In the
Mega
90s.
Pillow, guest starring Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Man would always be in the second issue. The first issue has to stand on its own, but the second issue we bring in Spider-Man.
There's something we can ask the listeners to go check out for us. Try to find out how many number 2 issues of Marvel Comics characters had guest starring Spider-Man. Because I'm guessing it's got to be at least more
There's
than
probably-
one.
Well, we know Darkhawk. That's how they
Darkhawks,
did it.
yeah, but there's got to be more than that.
I bet there's probably more. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Yeah. Venom kept reappearing in Darkhawk. Like they almost like carted him over to being a Darkhawk villain, a Darhaw, Arkhaw.
Maybe he's fit the vibe.
So yeah, I mean,
So he can
Venom
be
sold
Eno?
books.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he'd be Brian Eno.
Brian.
Love that guy.
Yeah, you beat me to it.
I love that guy. So yeah, he
I
binds her.
physically love Brian Eno.
I have physically made love to Brian Eno and his bald skull.
You're not David Byrne.
They didn't make love. They made sweet music together. My Life in the Bush of Ghosts. Is that what it's called? That's a great, weird record.
Didn't Brian Eno make an album with Metallica or something?
Lou Reed did.
Lou Reed, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
The Lulu, the famed Lulu.
I hear it's good. I never listened to it, but I'm told it's good.
It was decimated when it came out, but I think in retrospect, people probably like it a bit more. I don't know. Because, like, in typical Metallica fashion, anything they put out, everyone hates immediately.
Yep. And then years later, they're like, Load and Reload are pretty good.
Pretty good. Load is pretty good. Load and Reload were pretty good. Like,
I mean, if at the time, like, come on.
They're just not thrash metal. Who gives?
Yeah,
There's other kinds of good music. They're good hard rock albums.
Why gotta be the same thing forever?
God damn, man. Have some fun.
Have some fun in your empty life.
Yeah. So, I don't think people listen to that much Metallica have, that much going on.
I don't know. People that are still listening to Metallica are probably living really good lives where they have big trucks and they're like, hell yeah, enjoying themselves in their empty heads.
That's a version of a good life, sure, for someone.
With their Trump hat. I don't know if Metallica fans
they got the
Trumpers.
No, I don't think, but I can't imagine Metallica's big Trump fans.
No, they live in California.
California. Gavin Newsom's California paradise.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, so Kirk Langstrom goes back out. He says, hey, Francine's not feeling well, and frankly, I don't want you guys around either.
Yeah, frankly, you guys are assholes.
Yeah, it's weird that she thought this was a good idea.
Yeah, she knows he's a Batman.
She knows that he probably hates being around people.
He's not a Batman. He's a man-bat.
He's a Batman.
Yeah, well, he couldn't call himself Batman. He got sued.
So he notices that there's a shadow on the balcony, and he goes outside after he tells his sister to shut up one more time.
He does just tell her, he says, if you're going to marry, he says to his potential brother-in-law, if you're going to marry my sister, I suggest you teach her when to shut up. And she gets angry, but then the guy says, you know what? He's got a good point there.
It's like, did your brother just say it's okay for me to hit you?
He did not say that, Ted.
I'm like, he's looking, and they both. Kirk gives him a nod, and he nods back like, "Oh,
you can't trust what a brother says. No,
you're being rude to our guest. Shut that mouth of yours." And she looks up at him, all like turned on, and licks the blood a little bit from her mouth.
Jesus Christ, Mike!
And he realizes that she's into it, and he's like, "I'm into it too." And this is a whole new thing that they're doing now. And then they wander into the room and see the bed straps.
Yeah. I was gonna say they're already in a conducive atmosphere to this.
That is Kurt's sister, so it is to say that she would have a similar fetish.
Siblings do share bed straps. That is true. It's like hand-me-downs, like you get their old clothing. Like, here's my old bed straps.
Here's my old fuck straps if you and Ted need it.
Yeah, they just got to wash the cum off. It's crustified a bit, but you got to.
Here, Ted, you're going to need this ball gag, too. He's like, I'll have her wear that shit all the time.
Yeah, I don't want her talking. Yeah.
What makes you think I want to hear you talk? That's one of my favorite lines from The Dark Knight, where that lady, like the guy at the club talking to his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Can we go somewhere where we can talk? And he's just like, shut the fuck up.
Sal Maroni. Man, he did great in that role.
He did. That guy's in a lot of stuff where he basically plays himself. But that worked out.
Dude, that point where he wakes up and Batman's holding him over like a 3-story building and says, like, if you drop me from here, it's not going to kill me. And he goes, I know, that's my point. And he drops him and shatters his legs. Oh, that's one of my favorite Batman moments.
Dude.
That I think I might have gasped when I saw that.
I did.
In 2008, that wasn't the kind of shit you saw in superhero movies.
No, that was horrific. That's a horrific injury.
And he's limping for the rest of the movie when you see him. He's got a cane and it's fucking great.
Well, that limp is there forever. He snapped his leg bone.
Which movie is this?
It's great.
One of the
Dark Knight.
Oh.
In the Dark Knight, it's fantastic.
One of the Batmans.
Oh my goodness.
One of the hundreds of Batman movies.
Yeah, one of the hundreds. But the best one, the
best one is with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. That's the best one.
No. Anyway. All right. So anyway, he goes out onto the balcony to confront this man. And it just turns out that the 10-eyed man is just jerking off on his building. Didn't even know it was Kirk Langstrom's house.
And he's like, hey, I just wanted to compliment you on your physique. He goes, I just wanted to compliment you on your physique. He's like, wow, all right.
Maybe we shouldn't be enemies.
Let's be roommates. And then the Perfect Strangers song starts playing.
They start playing On the Wings of My Dreams.
What's your mom's name? Martha.
The Martha Brothers.
So Kirk's like, all right, well, I got my serum now back at home, so I'm gonna take some serum and I'm gonna go fuck up with this guy, right?
I'm gonna go out there with this party going on, and I'm just gonna head out there and beat this guy up. So here we see the horrific hands of the 10-eyed man.
Right. So it's weird because in theory they're just basically eyeballs, but that's not how it's depicted. It looks like he has little mirrors on his
Yeah,
fingertips.
like little mirrors.
Yeah, I don't know. But he's able to see behind him. So he's carrying like a gun in one hand and he's got his other hand in the other. And I'm telling you, that would be useful to have.
So when he pulls this gun and shoots it, the recoil of the gun, he's like, "Ow, my eyes!"
You know what? Yeah, they don't really cover the well, at some
No.
point they do. In some points, his hands are really sensitive because of his eyes, and some points they're not.
Yeah, holding a
weird.
gun would be a big one.
Yeah. So they get in a fist fight, or actually a gunfight at this point.
And no one inside hears the gun go off.
They don't because they're having a party. They're listening to the new, as we'll see later, the new Rough Muffin album.
I'm telling you, guns are louder than the Rough Muffin album.
Yeah, apparently you're not familiar with 70s prog metal. that they're
You're
listening
not.
to.
You're not down with the rough.
Rough Muffin is basically the sound of gunshots going off.
Good old Rough Muff. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Their album's called Big Muff.
I mean, if their name's Rough Muffin and they don't call an album Big Muff, like, what are you doing? You're fucking up.
Rough Muffin is when you're like eating pussy like with some gusto.
Yeah, when you got to get at it,
And you're getting at it like a goddamn werewolf.
you got to make her know you're a winner.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Where they're like, Jesus Christ.
I'm trying to win some points here.
Is this about me anymore? And you're like, no.
No, this was never about you. This was me proving
Yeah,
something to myself.
That's right. Putting your hand on her stomach to hold her down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, maybe you're lucky you got one of those Francine bindings and you just hold her
Oh,
down.
right.
Yeah, she ain't
Yeah,
going nowhere.
right. So that's
'Cause you need-
safe word time now.
Right. You need your hands free. You got stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
You got one finger up there just looking into her uterus with your finger eye.
He's like strapping her down and, oh my God, right. He can't finger people.
You can see.
Oh,
right up to
no.
there.
Hell
That's
no.
more pink eye.
He'll never miss the G spot ever again.
See, this is a guy with useful skills.
This guy is looking right at it. Of course, there's no light in there, though, so he wouldn't be able to see anything.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that he could replace one of his eyes with a little flashlight.
Yeah, you could
LED
put a
light.
little headlamp on his finger as he fingers chicks.
He doesn't need 10 finger eyes. He could
His fingers are spelunking.
He can do. I'm telling you, the index finger is a normal eye, and then the middle finger is a little LED camera, a little LED light, rather.
Oh, what a
guy's-
fascinating man.
This is a great man. I love this guy.
We have lots of questions for him.
Yeah,
Just
that will
asking
never be
questions.
answered. Yeah, he's just asking questions. He's just trying to find out what's going on here.
Why aren't we allowed to ask questions?
That's right.
Yep.
the
Good
moment's
point,
passed.
Jesse.
Anyway, all right. So the fight continues, and Kirk Langstrom still has not put together that. Yeah, he sees with his hands.
How would he?
Well, he should know that there's something up with his eyes because he's got the eye motif right on
He's
his
like
chest.
He's like, this guy's dressed as Wolverine, but he's got a bunch
Yeah.
of eyes.
Yeah, and a white shock in his hair. He's actually surprised that Kirk is not wearing a human mask. He thinks he's a Batman wearing a human mask.
Oh, I
and he has
thought
to
it was
show him-
reversed.
I think no, because he's not Man-Bat yet. He
I
still
thought
looks
he
like
was.
Kirk.
I thought he thought that he was wearing like a bat suit.
Well, that makes more sense, but he's saying right now, as when he has Kirk Langstrom face on, he's saying, "You want to know if I'm wearing a mask?" And then it changes to Man-Bat and goes, "I'm not."
Oh, yeah, all right, you're right.
Which
You're
is
right.
weird to be a Man-Bat wearing a human mask. I guess if you're a Man-Bat, you do want a human mask, Anyway, so the fight continues, and then at some point, eventually, Kirk finally realizes that his goggles are opaque, and so there's no way that he's actually using his eyes. He can't see.
Well, he kicks him off the building and he realizes, oh shit, he's gonna die. So
And I'll never
he's-
find out why he was after me.
So he swoops down and puts him in a neck lock with his legs.
He does, and he's able to save him. And then the 10-eyed man uses another one of his crotch weapons, and he sprays Kirk with his thick latex spray.
Oh my God, he does.
Yep.
Yeah, and it says sploosh.
Dude,
You can see this on the video.
Dude, he yeets on him.
He yeets right on him.
He skeets on him.
And dude, he skeets
Yeah.
on him. He even says
Skeeted
ski.
him up.
It says it. It says it. It's sort of.
what's
it's
sploosh screech.
yeah, but
but
you know.
pretty
you know,
close.
yeah, pretty close.
Yeah,
This is
and
where
so
they got
he-
it from.
he got it in Man-Bat's eyes, which is the one thing he told him not to do.
Yep.
Just can't hit the eyes.
I have a date tonight. Don't get it in my hair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Man-Bat.
And
it's
then
all his
Man-Bat
hair.
aimed for the hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a
what
spiteful
you do.
guy.
You mean a 10-eyed man?
Well, 10-eyed man. 10-eyed man ain't
Yeah,
for
whatever.
Because he's a spiteful lover. Because the women don't respect the fact that he put an eyeball right up their uterus.
Yeah, when I was a young man, like it was like you didn't like jizz on someone's face. You know, you
Yeah.
just didn't do it. Now it's expected.
Yeah, you're not a very good date or hookup partner if you.
Yeah, if you're
jizz on their
not
face.
jizzing on their face, it's
like, what are you,
I'm
pussy?
so programmed to be like we like respectful.
Yeah,
You know, and now it's like, oh no, being respectful is ick.
women get sick of being respected all day. And so they
Dude,
get a
what the
little-
fuck? I'll never understand anybody.
Women are so universally respected at all times wherever they go that any opportunity they have to drop that constant respect and regard that men give them.
Hold on, play
They take
Shée, play Shay's music, please. I have a
Oh,
question
sure,
for
yeah.
Shée.
Well, I'm sure.
I'm a bitch, I'm a boss. I'm a bitch and a boss, I'm a shine like gloss, I'm a bitch.
Shée, how come I have to jizz on women's faces now?
Yeah, what's that about, Shea? Why do you got to do it?
Yeah, why is that now a requirement?
Yeah,
When before it was considered really rude.
yeah.
I don't know who you're seeing that it's a requirement of.
Well, we know
But
they will yell out "jizz on my face." So I mean,
Right. They,
so,
they
yeah.
might have meant it ironically.
I mean, there's a couple reasons. There's the fact that maybe they don't swallow,
Oh,
so they don't want to deal with it.
Okay, that's a good workaround.
I don't know. One's a little more cleanly, I guess, because you're
It's
just swallowing
neater.
it all. Yeah, right.
It's
Now you
neater,
got now
but-
it's in your hair. It's on your face.
Well, it's in theory not going to get in your hair.
what if
in
it gets
theory,
on your clothes?
Well, in theory, you're naked at that point, and then in theory, the man, if he has any respect, he'll get you a tissue. He'll get you something to take care of that.
Nope. I put my feet up.
All right.
Thanks, baby. Now go clean yourself up.
If she's restrained, she's just going to have to deal with it, I guess.
And then she says, "Yes, daddy," and goes and cleans up.
I mean, I'm guessing it's the rise and accessibility of porn. So
Yeah, I
that-
think it was just people raised on porn.
and they're like, "Holy shit, this is something that happens," and it just it slowly oozed its way into being this thing that you got to at least try it, and I guess it just became acceptable that way.
I guess so. All right. Well, anyway, Man-Bat's now covered in jizz, much
Yep.
like my dates.
His eyelids are glued shut, and the fight continues. Man-Bat grabs a plant like a fern and throws it at the 10-eyed man, and he grabs it with his hands.
Yeah, which really hurts. It's a fern.
Why did the fern hurt his hands? He starts yelling, the pain, my hands, I can't see.
And there's also a silhouette of Batman in the background.
Oh, wow, yeah. Well, I think it's literally Man-Bat swooping behind him. But yeah, sure. Let's say it's a cameo from Batman. And by the way, if we're going to get a cameo, we should get that Batman cameo.
You know,
Yes, it's
so Kurt Langstrom has a formula to turn himself into a Man-Bat and then back into a normal person. You'd think Batman would just buy that from him.
Well, I don't know that Batman would necessarily want it. Although,
He
again,
doesn't seem to have any side effects, switching back and forth.
well, again, at the end of Grant Morrison's Batman, my favorite Batman, he does inject himself in Man-Bat serum because he's like, this is the only way I can do it. So he becomes Man-Batman. So he's Batman dressed up as Batman, but also with bat wings and a mecha suit.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, I should read that.
So he's Man-Bat, Batman, Iron Man.
It's
Yeah.
pretty great because he takes all. If you've read the whole run, he's taking all the various weapons that he's accrued over the course of this 8-year run, and he puts it together into one last like Omega Bat form, and it's pretty fucking badass. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked it a lot. So yeah, he's tried it. He's given it a shot. Guess he didn't like the side effects. It made his testicles shrink too much.
Oh,
Yeah, you can't have.
yeah.
that.
That's a big no.
Yeah, you can't have these tiny little. You gotta have something there. Yeah.
No, I had a guy I know who I used to work out with who did do steroids. And he's like, dude, girls don't care about your ball size. And I talk to girls, I'm like, are you weirded out when guys have tiny balls? They're like, yes.
Yeah, I would say women don't. Here's what I would say, and Shea, maybe you can explain this. I don't need to play the song again, but maybe I think that's if the balls are normal, they go undetected. Nobody cares. There's no such thing as a great ball situation. No woman is ever like, these are great balls, but they have to be at least normal. If they're abnormal, then it's a deal breaker. Mm-hmm. Is this accurate, Shée? That no woman is ever excited about balls, but they damn sure can be disappointed by them.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
God, I know women so well.
Mm-hmm,
Oh,
do.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
There should be a song about that, about James knowing about women.
I'm going to rewrite the lyrics to the Perfect Strangers theme song to be about testicle size and how women perceive them. Something balls. Hey, balls.
Normal balls that no woman will notice.
All right. Yeah, they want to go undetected.
Unless they're weird.
Balls are like God. If they do their job properly, no one knows they were even there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
Like a proper government.
So, so this is when Kirk Langstrom realizes something's up. First of all, the idea is that Ten-Eyed Man still reflexively uses his hands as hands, but I don't think that would be the case. If my hands were eyes, I think I would have learned to kind of use them as both hands and eyes, and I wouldn't just be grabbing arbitrary things to get thrown at me.
I think
Well, doesn't he mention at one point that even then his the skin grafts are rejecting his eyes or something?
Yeah, he's starting to lose it. Yeah.
So like, it's just like this is the guy that gave Man Bat because he's like blind as a bat, right? And so they gave him a villain that has lots of eyes. Stupid.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Good
They
call.
both see the world in a different way.
Uh-huh.
Well, he was the Ten-Eyed Man. To be fair, he was a Batman villain. He only, I think, had one arc. He was introduced a couple of years earlier. I think he had one arc in Batman, and then they went, "This guy's kind of stupid." They got rid of him. He's not really made many appearances since. So
Yeah, because he's dumb. He's a dumb character.
I mean, what I like about these kind of characters is, yeah, they're not real threats, but they're just fun and goofy. And I like these little like D-lister characters, not because they're legitimately challenging, but because they're just, I don't know, they're colorful. I like them.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So this manages to knock out the Ten-Eyed Man for a while, and Kirk is able to sort of try and get the stickum off of his face, taste it a little bit, see how it goes down the old gullet.
Mm-hmm. And he says, like, even as Kurt Langstrom, it'd be weird of me to try to make a citizen's arrest.
Yeah, he has no authority.
Mm-hmm.
And then as he's getting the stickum off his face, so this is kind of lazy. This is how Kirk Langstrom figures out who the Ten-Eyed Man is. He just remembers him. He just remembers that he heard about this guy. It's he just says, "Oh yeah, you know what? That dude that Batman fought that one time."
That one time. How would he know? Why is Batman making the news?
He loves Batman. That was the whole reason he did this whole bat thing. He thought Batman was badass, unlike you.
Yeah, Batman's stupid.
I'm going to be as much like Batman as possible, so I'm going to study his villains. So then all of a sudden, he goes from not remembering this guy at all to knowing his entire backstory. And he starts
remembering everything.
But you know what, though? We get a flashback and sort of some information about the Ten-Eyed Man, whose name is Phil Reardon. And it starts as a flashback theoretically that Kirk Langstrom is remembering, but then it goes into stuff that he can't possibly know. So I don't know what this is. But
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's one of his powers.
We see that, after he was put in penitentiary, by the way, put in that black and white striped costume that they haven't used in 100 years.
Just to humiliate him.
And it turns out that, he's sitting there in a box. He has to keep his hands in a box in jail so that he effectively can't see anything, because apparently they say this warden or whatever says, like, escape for him would be child's play if he could see with his hands.
Because he has 360-degree view.
Yeah,
I don't know how that gets you out of jail.
Yeah, how does that? How do you pick a lock with that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, he can see where the keys are, but
he's just
can't
sitting
reach
there
them.
thinking about how he's losing his gains.
Yeah, dude, can I at least get a bench in here?
At least let me work out.
No, it's going to cost $900 to get all your bench equipment in here, so you can't do it.
Yeah, dude.
So some dude shows up, and he's like, "Well, this is super cruel, and you can't be doing this. You got to release him into my care because this is cruel." And the Democrat liberals decide his treatment's too cruel. They put him back on the streets. He's gonna be eating our cats and dogs in no time.
Mm-hmm. They decided that the criminals of Gotham didn't need to have bail anymore, so they removed the bail, and now they're all out in the street.
So this dude, who's apparently the head of the Civil Liberties Association, he just has the authority to just release him and say that because he was treated so cruelly in prison that his debt to society is totally paid and he's free.
Dude, like the Civil Liberties Union is a real thing, and the writer clearly hates them.
So, yeah. It's definitely, there's an agenda here. So this guy who is the 10-eyed man's boss that he alluded to earlier, he's a strange guy. He's a conspiracy theorist. And apparently in his office, he keeps framed photos of people he hates so that he can reference.
Me too.
It's a bizarre, like frames are expensive. Like it's one thing to post up a picture. He got this shit framed.
He's got the extra money, apparently.
Apparently. And so he's meeting with Hank Reardon. Phil Reardon. His name is Phil Reardon.
Phil the
And he's
Kraken.
Phil, like he's got a bizarre name. He's got a bizarre name for a guy with eyes for fingers.
Played by
Fingers for
Patton
eyes.
Oswalt.
Sure, yeah, let's get him in there. That's a great movie we're putting together. So this dude, the boss, the Civil Liberties Association boss, tells him like, yeah, I think this is a whole problematic thing. Justice is blind. The Batman is to blame. I hate him. He points to his framed picture of Batman that looks like some a fan would have, but
Yeah.
he points to it. So there's the Batman cameo in here. Like this guy, I fucking hate.
How did he get a photograph of Batman?
He painted a picture of Batman.
Oh, it's a painting.
He painted Batman. And he had it framed.
What if he made it and it's like crude and he just points at it? Batman, right there.
Made in crayon.
I don't
He's
like him.
I don't like him. My son made me this.
he says, yeah, I don't like this Batman. And now because of Batman, there's all these like monstrous man bats, and of course he has a framed photo of Man Bat as well.
Yeah, just one though. One he's got a photo of Batman here. It's a photo, so he knows that's a guy in a costume. Like it's clearly a guy in a costume, and he thinks that he's responsible for the guys who are not in costumes. They're horrific monsters. Who's just one guy?
He has decided it's a whole.
So there's
swarm
a
of
man in a
bats.
costume who's called Batman, and a man bat who just happens to be in the same city. He goes, it's a conspiracy to bring in Batmen.
Yep, that's apparently it. So he's explaining to him that, yeah, I think this is
That's
all
all
part of
the evidence we need.
Well, he claims that his daughter was killed by Blockbuster.
Who's
another-
not a bat creature.
At all.
Yeah, he's just a big dude with a giant head. Yeah.
Who's
And
a
he says-
supervillain. Who's stopped by Batman.
But I didn't pay attention to that part. I paid attention to just the Blockbuster.
He sees
knocking
his
on
daughter
buildings
get smashed by Blockbuster, and he turns and he sees Batman. He's like, what the
What did
hell
you
is
do?"
that?
part. How could you, Batman? I painted this beautiful picture of you, and you betrayed me.
And Batman just goes, huh?
What?
Huh?
So he gives the 10-eyed man all this nice equipment, a jetpack and everything, and says, this is stuff that's specially made so that you can use one hand to hold the equipment and the other hand to see around. I'd like you to go find this man bat that I believe is in Chicago. Go take him
All
down.
those weapons would be way more effective with a guy who could use his hands.
Yeah, well, you work with what you got. Apparently this was the only guy who could get out of prison.
Is this the only guy he could get out of prison?
There's got to be better people for this job, but this is the guy you could get. You got the 10-eyed man.
I mean,
So
he is hunting a bat monster. I imagine like he could find just a normal like peace officer or bounty hunter who he could give these weapons to go after him.
Someone who's good with guns.
Or maybe he just saw him on the news and he goes, "That's the most jacked man I've ever seen."
His biceps will definitely take down the man bat.
And then he goes, "I want that jacked man from the news to get out of jail." He goes, "Oh, you mean a 10-eyed man? He's blind." Really?
I don't think you want that guy. He kind of sucks.
He's thinking to himself, "Well, bats are blind," which is not true.
This is good. No, it's not. Well, they do have not great vision, but yeah, they're not blind.
No, they're not blind.
I'm telling you though, I mean, as a supervillain, no, but as a practical thing, you want those finger eyes. You want them. They're great. They're great real life practical powers. And so the 10-eyed man tells him, like, I'm actually losing my power. I'm not able to see as well out of my hands. So he says, well, if you find this Batman, this man bat, we'll experiment on him. I'll figure out the sonar that works. I'll get you the sonar. Everything's going to be great. And then he slams the door on him while he's still talking to him.
Yeah.
And then a hot lady comes out from behind some curtains that were like she was hiding. Like oh shit, the 10-eyed man is here. How quick, hide behind the curtains.
Having sex with his secretary, and 10-eyed man showed up early, so she had to hide behind the curtain.
And she has jizz all over her face as requested by her.
Yes. So she is hiding. Yeah, she comes out. She says, "You're not really gonna help him, are you?" And she goes, "No, fuck no, I'm not gonna help that guy."
I don't help people. Jeez.
Jesus Christ, I wouldn't have came on your face if I was into helping people.
I'm like,
Jesus.
we're here to stop Batman.
Yes. And he points to the picture again. Did you see the picture? I worked really hard on that picture. So, now we're back in Chicago. Ten-Eyed Man is upset because he realizes that Man-Bat knows his secret. He realizes his boss didn't really tell him what he needed to know, but he's got a flare bomb and all kinds of stun guns and stuff that he's about to set off in a last-ditch effort to stop Man-Bat.
Doing a gig and your boss not telling you everything you need to know. How typical is that?
Yeah, seriously, how many jobs have you done, Ten-Eyed Man? Is this your first job?
That's every fucking gig.
This is pretty common, actually.
They don't tell you shit.
I can't tell you how many times I've asked sincere questions and the response I get back, and this is one specific person who always tells me, you should be fine. And that's the extent of the response I get from this person. Yeah, it's strange, but whatever. It's what we do. So anyway, then Ten-Eyed Man is lamenting that he needs to catch Man-Bat. He set up a bomb. Man-Bat finds him. I don't know how. Because the book's ending, so we need to get
They're
this
like,
on the
yeah,
road.
go find him.
Go find him. So Ten-Eyed Man has set up a bomb. Man-Bat shows up, and we see, again, the Ten-Eyed Man does the thing that we see on the cover of the book, where his whole hands are mirrors.
I think it's not actually mirrors. It's just
Yeah.
supposed to give the representation that he's seeing through his
Artistic
hands.
impression, yeah.
Yeah.
So Man-Bat shows up with his greatest weapon of all, a towel. And he wraps it around the Ten-Eyed Man's hands.
Mm-hmm. That was it.
And that's pretty much it. And so he then
He's
whaps
like,
him in the back of the head.
He's like, oh no, fabrics, my one weakness.
I did not plan for this. And this is the point where we see that, again, at the party is still going on, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And this is we see when somebody's putting on the Rough Muffin album.
Mm-hmm. It's death metal.
It's just clangs and industrial clongs and sounds.
Oh no,
and
it's
steel.
terrible noise music.
Yeah. It's
Fucking car alarms.
It's proto-suicide.
It's that Lou Reed album. That's just noise.
It's metal machine music.
It's the Metallica
It's
Lou Reed
Lulu?
album she
Yeah,
starts
it's
playing. You guys
Lulu.
ever heard Lulu? I hear it's a trip.
You know what? I haven't listened to Lulu, but I have listened to Metal Machine Music, which is a record that he allegedly Lou Reed made because he was pissed off and he had to turn in another album on his contract. So it is 4 tracks, 4 like 10-minute tracks of just feedback and noise from his guitar. And it's like, the textures are interesting, but it's not an album, it's not 40 minutes of music. But Metal Machine Music, go check it out while you're listening to this podcast, I guess, you weirdo. And so the fight continues. Man-Bat, I think he rips off the jetpack off of Ten-Eyed Man, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
And
It
he
turns out
mentions-
it's attached to him because that's also one of his powers, and he just rips his back open.
That is not true. But he does mention the CLA, the Civil Liberties Association. So Man-Bat at least has
He
something
goes,
to go
what?
on.
You're working for those cucks? Those lib cucks?
Those
the
libs.
CLA?
Oh, God, I hate those guys. He puts on his MAGA hat, flies away. So then
Maybe you
we see
wouldn't
that
need a civil liberties union if you weren't breaking the law.
Yeah, you wouldn't. If you're minding your own business, you got nothing to worry about.
Mm-hmm. What are you trying to hide?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about an unwarranted search and seizure. So then we actually see that the Rough Muffin album actually is bothering Kirk. He can hear it.
Yep. Oh, God, it sucks.
It's such a shit record. He gives it a 3.1 on Pitchfork.
Like, why would the explosions and all the stuff they've been doing to each other not bother him?
Doesn't bother.
Or just being in the city. Just being in the city in
yeah,
general.
it's so loud. You'd
Like,
think
is it
you'd
just
wanna-
like a high-pitched squeal? Is that what the Rough Muffin album is?
I guess it is. It's a trip. It's a trip. So then in the course of this, the jetpack hits the bomb, and the bomb's going to go off in 30 seconds. And Man-Bat didn't even realize there was a bomb in this. I don't know what he thought this thing was.
It's like, I had no idea.
Yep. I'm kind of a fucking idiot.
He goes,
And
oh,
so-
no.
Ten-Eyed Man still has not taken the towel off of his hand, by the way. He's
Nope.
letting this ride.
Oh, because the fibers are in his eyes.
So Man-Bat decides, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let the bomb go off. I'm going to shield myself with the Ten-Eyed Man, and I'm going to trust that his reflexes are going to make him put his hands up to protect his eyes, which don't work. And all of this happens. All of this actually works out the way it's expected to work out. The bomb goes off.
And no one hears it because of the Rough Muffin album.
Rough Muffin, man. That is a rough muffin for sure. So this works. The Ten-Eyed Man is stunned. He can't see anything. He falls over a building, which we've been waiting for a long time. And then Kirk Langstrom looks at him and he says, yeah, this all seems so pointless. Oh, wait, that's just me reading my notes. Sorry. That's that.
And that was the end.
Yeah, and then he says, yeah, I guess I'll go back
It's
to the
over.
party now.
He's dead.
He just says, he's dead. That was pointless. I guess I'll go back to the party. And that's how his series ended.
And his building is now surrounded by the cops because it's been nothing but gunfire and
No, it's
explosions.
70s Chicago. The cops are showing up for this shit.
Right.
They got
I don't
away
know,
with
North
this.
Side.
That's true. Money. Gold Coast.
They said he's on Lakeshore. They didn't necessarily say North Side. He could be
So
like
yeah, Gold Coast.
Streeterville, Gold Coast. Yeah, it's all Chicago.
That
it's all
was
great.
That was definitely a Gold Coast apartment, bro.
Yeah, there's some regional discussion for all. I know everybody loves it when we talk about Chicago. It's the main thing we get feedback on. It's like, please mention more local Chicago things. That was the end of Matt Bad. What do we think of that?
I liked it okay, so 10 stars.
All right. a good C average. Shea?
I didn't hate it, but it just left me with a lot of questions that I know aren't going to be answered.
They will never be answered. No, I liked it. I don't know, 3 out of 5 revolving door prison systems. Thank you very much, liberals. In and out.
In and out. Yep.
That's out. All right. I enjoyed that, and now I think we got to talk about next time.
We do.
And there's a lot to talk about next time. As I said, we get into October.
That's right.
And because Mike just kind of promises things to people. He said that we would do birthday requests, and we've got 2 birthday requests for October, and luckily they're both very Halloween-y, so I think it's going to work. I think we can actually do this. But of course, we have to spin the wheel because people also get angry if we don't do the wheel. We have a very ornery fan base here.
They're the worst. What are we doing, guys?
No, I love them so much. I love them so very much. So yeah, we've got a couple coming up here. And so I guess we're going to do what do we call it? Asktober?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Not to be confused with Asktober.
Asktober. We're going to call it Asktober, though.
Which we normally do. So first up, since he made us this great spinning playlist that we've been using, and since it's his birthday, Born Too Late is turning 63, I believe. He's an older man. He's an older gentleman. He's marrying that hot sister of Kirk Langstrom.
Yep. And then slapping her and then
No.
discovering something sexual about himself.
So we've got this wheel. He wanted Animal Man issue number 71 from 1994, which is actually a great book. And if the only Animal Man you're familiar with is the one we looked at a while ago on this show, the normal dude who just takes on animal traits, you're going to be very surprised about what's going on in this book if we do it. If we do it. Because we always have to spin the wheel. So we've got mostly...
Nothing in life is guaranteed.
Nothing is guaranteed, all right? And if it doesn't come up, we'll put it back on the normal wheel. So I would like to look at Animal Man 71.
Yeah, that's fair.
But we got to drop a little something in there. And by the way, I have to say, I don't like this bit. I'm the one who came up with this bit. I said before I don't like it. That wasn't a bit in and of itself. I don't like this bit. It gives me too much anxiety. Because what we
I like
do,
it because of the anxiety.
we have a wheel, and you can see this on the video. We have a wheel with 20 options, 18 of which are Animal Man 71, and then 2 of which are something else that we don't want to do, the little drop of poison. And I found it's called Tom Mix, issue 21 from 1949. It looks like this. It's a Western book, and the reason I picked it, or the reason I threw this on the wheel, is there's a story in there called Tom Mix and the Pumpkin Menace, which you can see.
Okay.
So at least it'd be Halloween-y. It's from 1949. It's a cowboy shooting at a giant pumpkin.
Oh, man. You know what? I kind of want to do this
Yeah,
book.
but it's 50-some pages. It's going to be 1,000
Oh,
stories about
no.
generic cowboys.
Oh,
Right.
no. Okay,
So,
please pick Animal Man 71, please.
That's where the tension
We just
comes
did
in
Zip
here.
Comics. Fuck.
Yeah, it would be bad. So that's the way we're going to do it. We're going to spin this in a moment. But speaking of Born Too Late, we've still got his wonderful wheel playlist. So we're going to listen to a spinning music. Happy birthday, Born Too Late. This is Vicious Rumors, Wheels of Madness.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
Yep. Very mic friendly.
That's definitely a driving down the road with TJ with the T-tops down kind of music.
That's pretty much his entire playlist. All right. By the way, send us requests. Send us songs about wheels. Make your own
This
songs
song
about
fucking
wheels.
rips.
It's pretty good. It's one of the better ones. It's very priest. It's very priest.
That is really good.
So, all right. I will tell you right now, I got some anxiety on this. Like, I'm kind of.
We
not
had some
wanting
close
to do
calls.
this. Yeah, we did. Okay. Well, you guys ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Spin the wheel of madness.
Do not focus on this. All right. All right. All right.
Oh, dude.
It wasn't that close.
Yeah, it's close
All
enough.
right. All right, Born Too Late. You're
I thought
your
for
wish.
sure we were doing fucking Cowboy Pumpkin.
We've done this. We've done this bit 3 times. It is yet to come up on the shitty option, but one of these days.
Close.
It's gonna
We were
happen.
like
It got
one
real
off
close,
ones.
I think, the last time, didn't it?
Yeah, it was like right. It just barely ticked off of the bad one. Yeah. So to look at the cover here, Animal Man 71, and I did read this. I don't remember the specific issue, but I did read this. If you're looking at this on the video, you see this cover with this horrible bat unicorn creature. He's actually he's a tunicorn. He's got.
It's like a griffin.
Yeah, he's like a griffin. He's like a lot of.
Binicorn.
Right, and this that we're looking at is Animal Man.
Mm-hmm.
This is how he looked at this point. He had transformed into a horrific multi-animal creature. I don't remember exactly what point this is in the story, but holy shit, it is an intense story. This is from this Animal Man run started before the Vertigo imprint was a thing, but then once it became a thing, they just said, all right, yeah, this should definitely be considered a Vertigo book. And it is. It's a very, very Vertigo book. So we're going to look at Animal Man number 71. He's appearing on the BNN News Network. All right. Nobody's enjoying the BNN News Network.
I don't have
I
a
can't
joke
think
for
of
it.
what it would stand for.
Liberal propaganda. Yeah, trying to come up with a BNN joke. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's like CNN but BNN. Oh,
It's just-
But what's
because it's a bunch of
Beast?
bullshit national
Beast
news.
Network?
Beast
Oh,
News
yeah,
Network.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would be it.
Yeah. Beast in it. So we're going to beast it with Animal Man next time, and that's going to be our first of 2 great Halloween episodes we're going to do in Spooktober.
I guess this technically
Asktober.
counts as a Halloween episode too.
It's going to be this one right now. Yeah, we're easing gently into it. You know, 10-eyed man finger bang style. We're slowly easing into October. I mean, I will say, Halloween is the one holiday where you can do Halloween books any time of the year. You can do books about that holiday any time of the year and nobody's going to complain.
No.
Yeah.
Like you can't do 4th of July books in fucking, December, but you can do Halloween books anytime.
We
So
did do Christmas in July once.
that was a request. And, we'll do a lot of dumb shit for requests. All right.
Like birthday spins.
Yeah. Bizarre, confusing birthday spins. All right, Shée, give us some plugs, please.
Okay. Follow us and listen to us on all of the things as Darkside's Couch. And that includes YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, or whatever they call it now. I know it's X, but what are tweets called now?
They're just
X's.
posts now.
Posts?
I think they're just called posts now.
They're
It's not
called
very good.
lowercase x's.
Yes.
Okay.
They're
Yeah.
pronounced the same way though. It's still pronounced X.
Okay, well follow our X's and O's on there.
I'll be goddamned if I do any O's.
Follow us on Twitch at Santa Hules so that you can see all of the awesome artwork and marathons that Mike runs. I think that's everything.
Okay. Well,
Right?
you say so.
Oh, and join our Discord.
Oh, and our Discord also as Darkside's Couch.
Yeah, you're the authority on this. I don't care for this show. I prefer not to listen. Yeah, it's distasteful.
And then you can always visit darksidescouch.com.
Yeah. If you want to see a website that's just full of the same links that you see elsewhere, but you'd like to see them
Yep.
on a different color background. All right, that's it. Anybody got any final thoughts before we get out of here?
We got to man bat ourselves over to the free clinic and get that treated.
Yeah, have that looked at. Shea, what do you haven't looked at?
Don't forget to register to vote. Check on your
Yeah.
registration.
At least even if you don't, if you're not going to vote, just register anyway. Just register, just to say fuck them. Just make sure that they know that you could vote if you wanted to.
Well, the best way to say fuck them is to start a militia.
You can do both. There's still plenty of time left in the year. But seriously, if you're gonna get that militia up, get it up. Start it now. 'Cause
it
it's
up
about to
soon.
get crazy. You're
they're
gonna want
gonna
that.
They're gonna take your guns.
You really want to start. You really want to start drawing up the battle lines. I don't know what's gonna happen, but you're gonna want to pick a side and get on it now. All right, everybody. I think that's it. Ta-ta for now, Cushion Crusaders. We'll talk to you next time on the couch.
Ow, my eye! I'm not supposed to get pussy in it!